guys, so this is another Remembering Forgotten Memories video, another Throwback Thursday video, Storytime video, whatever you'd like to call it. It is all of these things. Ah, my goodness, where do I start with this one? Well, if you clicked on the video title, you got the gist of it already. There's that one time I wrote to Ringo Starr every day for a year via snail mail. This was a thing. I'm not sure if I should say I'm embarrassed or I'm proud of my gumption that I actually, stuck with it for a whole year. I was a little kid, okay? This was not as a grown-ass adult or anything. I was actually a kid still when I did this. So let's backpedal a little, shall we? So for those of you who watched The Simpsons, especially who watched the old school episodes, I'm sure you probably remember a certain famous episode with Ringo on it, where Marge wrote to him as a girl, and 30 years later he replied. And there's a scene in it where he said, he has this whole entire room just filled with fan mail. He says, I don't care if it's gonna take me another 30 years, I will answer every single one of these fan letters. In my child brain, I took this as gospel, that this is how Ringo really lives, and he in real life was actually responding to every piece of fan mail. And I wanted in on this. Gosh, I don't even know what year that first aired, so I can't even give a good estimate on how old I was when this idea first came to me that I need to write to Ringo, because I want a Ringo letter that I can frame and keep forever as my prized possession. So it took a few years before I actually started enacting this. I'd seen several addresses online that were supposed fan mail addresses for him, didn't know which one was legit, didn't know if any of them were legit, so I kind of just sat on this info and didn't really do anything with it. I did used to have Paul McCartney's fax number, though. I did not have a fax machine, so I couldn't do a damn thing with it. Until the day I found out my grandpa had a fax machine, and I was still too chicken shit to actually do anything with this info, and then that computer crashed, and I never had it again. Yeah. And it was only by a fluke that I got it, because on the PETA website, there was this whole thing with Paul McCartney writing an open letter to KFC, protesting the treatment of the chickens that were being slaughtered for their meat, blah, 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 blah. And when they first put that letter up on their website, they forgot to edit out his personal info, so his frickin' fax number was still on the image for a full glorious 24 hours, and being the compulsive picture saver that I am, I saved it the second I friggin' saw it, so I had it on a technicality, but I had it until that freaking computer crashed, and I am never gonna be over it. Although I still don't have a fax machine, so it's not like it would do me any good, and I highly doubt he still has one anymore. But we are not here to talk about Paul. We are here to talk about Ringo, goddammit. So I had about 5 different addresses for him, didn't know which one was the one. Now, Ringo's never been the most popular, I don't think, at least not in my lifetime, so finding other Ringo fans has always been a feat for me. But there is this one girl, I want to say her name was Jamie. I'm not changing names, I'm pretty sure her name was Jamie, or at least it's the name she used online. She ran a Ringo fan site. It wasn't the biggest or the best one, but she ran one and was personable enough to where I made friends with her. And she had a little blog section on her website, and there was a whole thing where she wrote to Ringo, and she posted her fan art she had on the envelope before she sent it. So now I knew the address to jot down, because apparently this is the one to use. This is the one other people are using. And several months later, she got a reply. I was like, how did you do the thing? She's like, oh, I kept writing to it. I was like, okay. Challenge accepted. So it was still in the middle of summer at that point. I don't know why I decided not to just, act on this Actually, I think I, sent one, immediately. And then was I don't know how long to wait for a reply. I don't know if it got lost in the mail. I don't know if my dad found it and intercepted it, because I had just put it in our mailbox. Didn't know, so I was like, as of the new year, I have a plan. I'm going to write him a letter every single day for 1 year. Which, saying it out loud sounds just as batshit insane as it probably actually was, but I don't know, going into it, what I thought I would write him every day for a whole year. I don't know if I thought I would just write him the same letter every day for a year until I got a damn reply from him, or a cease and desist, whichever came first. I don't know, but, I was probably all of 13 by this point, so I'm still not little by this point, but still pretty young to where, okay, it's not as creepy as it would be if I were a grown-ass adult doing it, but not condoning the behavior, just, it's a thing I did once. So anyway, January 1st rolled around. Never mind that there is no postal activity on January 1st, didn't matter. I would send out 2 the next day. One I wrote on the 1st and one I wrote on the 2nd. They would both go out together. I decorated those envelopes. I apparently came up with enough unique stuff for like about the first week's worth of letters, where it was kind of like a one-sided interview in hopes that maybe he'd write back with the answers. I don't know what I was expecting back. I don't know if I was expecting a signed picture. I don't know if I was expecting a handwritten letter. I don't know if I was expecting both. I was just expecting something back. But then I hit about the end of the first week, it was like, shit, I kind of ran out of ideas of what to write him. I'm just gonna send him a picture of me this time. So I got out, no, I think I sent him, like, a copy of my school picture from that year first. And then it was, like, every month, I, like, stole my mom's Polaroid camera and, like, took a picture of myself. Selfies before there were selfies, guys! And just popped them in and mailed them off with the letters because I was a loser like that. And apparently totally creepy. But in hindsight, I'm like, that is really creepy, Jen. What the fuck? Why did you do that? At the time, it didn't seem alarming, but I don't think I was aware of the word stalker yet, or how this would look to be doing this. So, throwing it out there, I am not a stalker, but I could see where, you know, out of context, it would look that way. But then again, I've always had a very young-looking face, so at 13, you can imagine how much younger I looked then than my age. I looked like a teeny-ass little kid, so I don't think anyone was too worried. But regardless, yeah, the letters to him slowly turned from questions for him into letters of unrequited love for him, into this was basically just diary entries of what I did over the course of the day, because I really didn't know what else to write to him, but I was hell-bent on doing this every single day for a year, and really didn't know what to write, but I just was that hell-bent on doing it, because I really wanted a reply, damn it. So I kept writing them, and kept sending them, and kept decorating them, even though my creativity was very quickly running out for what exactly to keep filling these with. I think I, like, got, like, a star hole punch one time and just, like, filled one with, like, star-shaped confetti. Was like, there's stars for you, get it? 'Cause you're Ringo Starr. I think that was, like, the entire letter that day. Yeah, I was really reaching, and that was only by, like, March. Yeah, these got, like, progressively stupider and stupider as time went on. And I think I even mentioned in one of the letters that I was just gonna send them till December 31st. Maybe it would take him that long to reply. Maybe this was like a project for him too, to read them and just... You know, I don't think I ever stopped to think about how much fan mail my stuff was getting lost in amongst, no doubt, and that the odds of him seeing all of them, much less in order. Right, like, that's gonna friggin' happen, like, he doesn't have people for that anyway, but, yeah, I don't know, they got stupider and stupider and stupider as the year went on. I started sending him shitty fan art that I drew of him. I was going the whole gamut of, I don't know what else to send you, but I really want you to, like, send something back. I don't care if it's a letter or a picture, just send something back. December 31st rolled around, and there were still no replies. And I sent off that last one, was like, I don't know how long I'm supposed to wait after sending this many for a reply. But I guess, job's done at this point. I did what I set out to do. I sent 365 letters to Ringo Starr. 366 if you count the one that I sent the previous summer. And then I never sent one again, for the record. I stopped and just waited, and waited, and waited. Years went by. Nothing came back. There was probably a folder in a blacklist somewhere of all my shit of, do not respond to that one, don't let that one anywhere near him, probably, but, I don't even know. I do know that at a show a few years later, when I had second row seats and there was a point where I was, like, right up against the stage, he looked mildly frightened of me, so I'm like, oh crap, he did see some of them and he is scared of me. Good job, self. Look what you did. Stupid 13-year-old me. But, there's no way to prove it had anything to do with that. It could have been the fact that I screamed like a Beatlemaniac, even though it was, like, 2001, but, something about being screamed at, I imagine, would freak anybody out. But, yeah, long story short, he never wrote back. Even though it was years and years and years down the line when we finally moved, I still had this overwhelming terror in my heart of, but what if Ringo finally writes back? But he writes to the other address, and it'll never find me. We can't move. Yeah, that went over real well, obviously, guys. Yeah, that is the only reason we keep the other mailbox address open, even though no one lives there, is in the hopes, in case Ringo were to ever send something back, it would have a place to find itself. Yeah, that. Oh my god, that is embarrassing to admit, but yeah, we got the 2 mailboxes because of that. It's 2 houses on the same piece of property, at least. I mean, if this were anywhere else we'd move to, this would not work, but because it is where it is, and the old house is literally uninhabitable, habitable, and therefore is going to be demolished, yeah, that. And all our, mailmen know the story, they don't even give a shit. They're like, yeah, it's fine. Kinda weird, but yeah, I guess it's fine. Oh my god. But I was convinced because he said it on The Simpsons, guys. Obviously, the words came from his own mouth. He was going to write back to every piece of fan mail if it took him another 30 years. Yeah, so imagine how I felt the day he made the No More Fan Mail video. Yeah, that would be why I took it so personally and I cried. And had to make my parody video of it, because I was more than a little butthurt. I was like, this means I'm never getting my Ringo reply, doesn't it? Damn it to hell. So, you would think the story would end there. It does not. I said I never sent him another letter again. But that does not exclude social media. So, this went a step further into the 21st century. All I can say is it's a good damn thing social media didn't exist when I was 13, because I doubt I would have ever stopped, tweeting at him, or Instagramming him, or anything at him, ever. And would have probably gotten my ass blocked for it, and I probably would have just come back under more accounts to keep doing it. At least, as an adult, I know not to do that, but in some feeble attempt for attention from Ringo, just any form of acknowledgement, even so much as one little like. One little like, that's all. I went on a tweet spree for 1 year. Yeah, and may have gone back through his Instagram and commented on just about every photo ever uploaded to it. Yeah, and sent direct messages to it for a while, although I'm positive they were never seen. And then I got blocked on Instagram. I never sent anything bad to it, guys, I swear. But, You know what it was that tipped the scale into block territory? The day I tagged him on a post from the Poopery account because it said something like peace, love, and poopery or something. It was something really stupid like that, and I got blocked for it. But then I got unblocked later, so I was like, was that like a warning block? I don't know what's happening, but that was like a few years ago. So I can't even claim the young card on that one. But, I had every intention of the whole year of being 32. I was just gonna tweet at Ringo every day. Except I didn't do it every day, but there was quite a freaking few random gratuitous tweets to Ringo, just in hopes of anything. Just, come on, one little like. One comment, that's all I'm asking, just one. But I don't think I'm gonna get it, so I finally gave up, but I still occasionally throw one out there, just in hopes, maybe. Maybe. Even though with social media, there's no way of knowing for sure if it's him or if it's, like, his people, but I suppose with fan mail, too, there's no way to know for certain if that's actually from him, or if that's from somebody he hired to, like, go answer them or stuff envelopes with signed photos, but signed. They could be signed by the people, too, that had to memorize his autograph. I mean, there are celebrities who do that, so just saying, but yeah. It just made me so butthurt that this bitch got a freaking reply on just a few tries. I tried for a whole year and I got nothing. She's like, well, did you send self-addressed stamped envelopes with them? No. I did not know that was a thing. Because I didn't mention it till after I had given up at the end of the year. Was like, seriously, what the hell? I wrote to him every single day of the year, trying to get one reply out of him, and never got one. But you got one. What the hell? And that was when she was like, well, did you supply self-stamped and addressed envelopes? Because if not, that's probably why he didn't reply. No one had told me that's a thing you have to do with fan mail. I mean, I know that, like, in magazines and shit, sometimes they mention that, but fan mail addresses don't always mention it. There's some that do, and if it had been mentioned anywhere that that was a thing, you better believe I probably would have done that. You're probably wondering, where did I get all this money from stamps? Or for stamps. Pretty much I smuggled them from my grandpa's house every damn time. I saw the little stamp dispenser out and just pulled out the road while nobody's looking. Oh, look at that. I have about a dozen stamps now. Cool. Yeah, I have a lot of regret in hindsight. My dad knows what I did, but my grandpa, I don't think, ever knew. Or if he did, he never mentioned it to me. I feel kind of guilty saying this right over the room that he passed away in, but I'm sure he knows now. But, yeah, just, oh god. I'm like, I probably wouldn't have sent anywhere near as many if I had known the trick was just to include the self-stamped and addressed envelope. I'd never get it in the right order, but you know what I mean. I probably could have just gotten away with, like, maybe like 5, probably would have gotten the reply. But no, dumbass me didn't know that was the trick, so, if anybody still uses snail mail and still writes to fan mail addresses for celebrities, pro tip, include a self-addressed and stamped envelope if you want a freaking good chance at a reply, because otherwise they're probably not going to bother with you. They're not going to take money out of their own pocket to reply to you. It's brutal, them's the breaks, but speaking as somebody who got ignored over and over and over again for not doing that, yeah. I can say with some authority here that apparently that actually is important. That is a thing you need to do if you want a good shot. And it's still not a guarantee. You may be tossing away basically 2 stamps, one for the envelope that you sent the other envelope in, but at least you'll stand half a chance. There's a better chance that they will reply that way. And if you're sending something like a headshot to them that you want them to sign, obviously you have to make sure that the postage is enough on the one coming back to you to actually cover the postage for that. Learned that one the hard way, too, with a different celebrity. That sucked, but, I had the right idea, I just didn't have the know-how because I was young and stupid, but yeah. My fandom has led to really stupid shit, guys. Just saying. And you are all probably, like, thinking of hitting the unsubscribe button now, because Jesus Christ, Jen, you are more unhinged than I thought. I know. I know. I own my insanity. I'm a harmless, insane person, but yeah, I own my insanity. So, okay, that ends our story time video for today. So, anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you don't already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. If anybody chooses to actually stay subscribed after this video anyway. Leave comments down below. Did you ever do anything similar? I'm sure probably not, but maybe someone else is out there to make me feel less shitty about myself for being that obsessive. Anyway, let me know if you have any, not even necessarily just comparable stories, but any just fan mail stories in general with anybody. I'd like to hear them. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, and if you like what I do on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. So anyway, guys, till next time, bye.